What happens when you drink coffee every day? A cup of coffee is a good way to keep us energetic and focused. There is a big misunderstanding about coffee. Despite what you may have heard, there are plenty of good things to be said about coffee. Coffee is actually a rich source of antioxidants and linked to a reduced risk of many diseases. People in Western countries get more antioxidants from coffee than fruits and vegetables. Numerous studies are now showing that coffee drinkers have a lower risk of many serious diseases. These studies do show that coffee is, at the very least, definitely not something to be feared. Metabolism boost is the main reason why people regularly drink coffee. Even though this energy does not last for too long, undoubtedly it helps to start a day properly. It is scientifically shown that coffee can increase the metabolism after a workout. According to a study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, endurance athletes who took a cup of coffee after a workout had a 66% increase in muscle glycogen. In this way, they were able to replace energy after their workout within a short period of time. Millions of people prefer to drink their coffee with cream or a couple of teaspoons of sugar, but it is important to remember that you will only experience the benefits by drinking only pure, black organic coffee, without any added artificial flavors. Type 2 diabetes is one of the biggest health problems in the world and currently afflicts over 300 million people. A massive review study that looked at data from 18 studies, with a total of 457,922 participants, found that coffee consumption was linked to a significantly reduced risk of type 2 diabetes. According to this study, each daily cup of coffee lowered the risk of type 2 diabetes by 7%. People who drank 3-4 cups of coffee per day had a 24% lower risk. Coffee drinkers have a significantly lower risk of getting diabetes, in some studies as much as 67%. Alzheimer's disease is the most common neurodegenerative disease in the world and a leading cause of dementia, and there is no cure for it. One study found that people who drank coffee had a 65% lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. The sweet spot seems to be at 3-5 cups per day. People who drank more than 5 cups had a greater risk than those who drank 3-5. Many other studies also have shown coffee drinkers have a much lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. Coffee appears to be highly beneficial for the liver. Studies show that coffee drinkers have up to an 80% lower risk of cirrhosis. But even more importantly, coffee appears to lower your risk of liver cancer, which is actually the second most common cause of cancer death worldwide. In a study from Japan, people who drank 2-4 cups of coffee per day had a 43% lower risk of liver cancer. Those who drank 5 or more cups had a 76% lower risk. A clear dose-response relationship is found. Many other studies agree with this. Coffee drinkers get less liver cancer than people who don't drink coffee. The Journal of the National Cancer Institute published a study which showed that older adults who consumed 4 or more cups a day had 20% reduced risk of developing malignant melanoma. Experts claim that coffee contains various antioxidants and phytochemicals which can effectively reduce the risk of cancer. Parkinson's disease is the second most common neurodegenerative disease, due to death of dopamine-generating cells in the brain. In a major review study, people who drank 3 cups of coffee per day had a 29% lower risk of Parkinson's disease. Going up to 5 cups per day had very little additional benefit. There are many other studies showing that coffee and tea drinkers have a reduced risk of Parkinson's. It's important to note that in the case of Parkinson's, the caffeine itself appears to be responsible. Decaffeinated coffee doesn't have any protective effect. Numerous studies show that people who drink caffeinated coffee, but not decaf, have a lower risk of Parkinson's disease. Depression is an incredibly common problem in the modern life. It is a serious mental disorder that can lead to a drastically reduced quality of life. In a Harvard study from 2011, people who drank coffee were 20% less likely to become depressed. When it comes to suicide, coffee drinkers are at a much lower risk. In one review of 3 studies, People who drank 4 or more cups of coffee per day were 55% less likely to commit suicide. Studies show that coffee drinkers have a lower risk of depression and up to a 55% lower risk of committing suicide. Oxidative damage is believed to be one of the mechanisms behind aging. Coffee is loaded with antioxidants, so it prevents aging. Coffee also appears to lower your risk of some major killers like liver cancer, type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's disease. Therefore, it only makes sense that it could help you live longer. A groundbreaking study published in the New England Journal of Medicine confirmed this. In this study, 402,260 individuals between the ages of 50 and 71 years of age were asked about their habits. Those who drank coffee were significantly less likely to die during the 12-13-year study period. The sweet spot seemed to be at 4-5 cups per day, with a 12% reduced risk of death in men and 16% in women. Keep in mind that the risk started increasing again as people went above 6 cups per day. For this reason, moderate amounts of coffee seem to be beneficial, but drinking way too much can be detrimental. Thank you.